Okay, hello, everybody. Welcome to the presentation. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you spending the time with us. And hello to you guys now on Spreaker. So you guys are Spreaker, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You guys are with us, and Clapper, you guys are with us, and TikTok, you guys are with us, and anybody else. It's hopefully you're having a very interesting Saturday because I know that I am. Let me go on Facebook right quick and to change my settings so that people can join. Otherwise, if I don't, then they won't be able to join us tonight. So hang tight, everybody. Let me just fix this right quick. And right quick, that's how we say that in Kentucky. Right quick. All right. And there we go. I think we're done. All right. Good. That's it. That is it. There we go. Whoa. Howdy, folks. Welcome to the president. Oh, you guys are not. There we go. I don't care what's cut off. All right, I'm Bishop James Long, and I appreciate you spending this Saturday with us. I'm with the United States Old Catholic Church. So a couple things. If you want to go to my website, it's very simple, bishopjameslong.com. That's it, bishopjameslong.com. Very, very simple. If you want to go to the church's website, that's simple too, usocc.org. And that's it. So that's a fun-filled, exciting websites for you, bishopjameslong.com. And hello there, Ireland, and usocc.org. Now, let me just let everybody know that for the first half an hour, Miss Wilma and I, I think that's the problem there. Miss Wilma and I will be goofing off here for about 30 minutes or so. And then after that, we'll get into your paranormal demonology questions. I'm always here. I'm always answering the questions, and there's nothing wrong with that. I enjoy doing it. I have no problem doing that at all. So for the first half an hour, for those of you who do not know, Miss Wilma and I, we just have a good time. We just goof off and have a great time. Well, hello there. Oh, so it's Melissa Jones' birthday today. Well, hello there, Melissa Jones, and happy birthday to you. Hopefully you're having a good one today. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, hopefully it is a beautiful, beautiful birthday for you. Well, folks, I tell you what, Miss Wilma, she's just driving me crazy today. And she is driving up. Here she is. I'm telling you, she's always got to have her own special entrance. She's her own special. She's a special little bird. You know that, folks? Miss Wilma? She was. You don't know that, folks. She was raised in a barn. She was. Hello, Miss Wilma.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sweetheart. And hope you have many more. Bishop Long, how you doing tonight?
Melissa, I am very, very, very sorry that happened to you. It almost sounded like that. Yes. I think. Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Yep,
I'm not
that's
the best singer, but I wanted to sing her happy birthday. And if anybody else's birthday, happy birthday to you too out there.
I tell you what, Miss Wilma, I should have played that the donkey song with you because I think he would have been a great backup singer to you.
It's a little rude.
This is a little rude. It's a little rude. That's all. It's all good.
How
It's
are
okay.
you doing just picking on me, Bishop Long?
Oh, Wilma, you know what? These buttons were driving me crazy. I was trying to push these darn buttons and they wouldn't work. And so it just wanted, because what happens is when they update, the programs update themselves. They say, hey, let's update ourselves. Sure, let's do an update. Well, 5 minutes right before a show. Why don't we do an update? Isn't that fun? So then it's like updating at the last minute, and I'm like trying to hurry up and look at that. Well, Melissa Jones, isn't that just precious? For those of you who don't know, well, Melissa Jones, the person that you just sang happy birthday to, she just had to remind us that she is in Alaska. Well.
Alaska. Woo!
Miss Melissa's in Alaska. Well, princess. Well, okay, Melissa, let me ask you, Melissa. Melissa is on Facebook. So, Melissa, what part of Alaska? What power? Because Look, Miss Wilma and I, we're going to go to Alaska. I'm going to drop her off right in the woods where all the great big bears are, the Kodiak Island. I'm just going to drop her off because she wants to go play with the bears. So we'll just drop her off there on Kodiak Island and say, there you go, Miss Wilma. And she'll play with all the bears all day long. So.
Well, could you drop me off by where I can see those lights, all those northern lights?
Oh, yeah.
Them shiny. That's something I want to see.
Oh, you'll see those northern lights when the bears eat you. So thank you very much, Nessie. Thank you. Yeah, you'll be seeing those.
Well, I can give it a whirl.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Come on, baby.
No, there's no way. There's. You got Buddha. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, absolutely. So Melissa, what part of Alaska are you from? For those of you who are on TikTok, here's a couple things. Thank you, Nessie. Thank you for the gifts to the ministry. If I don't say thank you, I do apologize because I run the show on 3 different computers. Thank you for the likes. And no, I will never send you a message on TikTok. Now, if you say something on one of my messages or on one of my the videos that I make, I'll respond sometimes to that if I have time, which is kind of funny because I don't have time for even myself. But no, I will not send you a message. You'll never get a private message from me ever on TikTok. Only because it's not because I'm being rude, because I have 14,000 messages, so I can't do it. If you send me a message on TikTok and I respond, that's one thing. But you will never ever get a message from me. Never. I will never send you a message. Hey, I'm Bishop James Long. Can you please send money to this African pilgrim or village? Or you'll never get it. There's a lot of spammers out there. There's a lot of con people out there. Isn't that crazy, Miss Wilma?
Yes, it is.
Because I posted already. Excuse me. I posted several videos already. Penned them. I made it very clear that I only have 2 accounts on TikTok. I reported all the fake accounts. They won't take them out. I can't do anything about that. So the only thing I do is let you know these are my accounts and these are the only accounts I have, and that's it. Oh, you are from? Melissa is from Kodiak. Is that Kodiak Island, Melissa? Kodiak Island. For those of you who don't know, God, that would be. You know what? I would be terrified. Melissa, are you from Kodiak Island? For those of you who don't, Kodiak Island. Heck, far no way, Jose. I love Alaska, but ain't no way. No. Melissa's from Kodiak Island. Kodiak Island, for those of you who don't know, have the largest Kodiak brown bears in the world, and these are big bears. There ain't.
Let's go.
No, you are out of your mind. I would never. And people live on you. Oh, you grew up with them. Oh, you're just gonna stay. Come on, little bear. You want a marshmallow? You just come on over. Let me pet you. Yes, okay. You grew up with them, Melissa. Come on. I'm telling you, I've seen some pictures of those bears. Now I love bears, and I know Miss Wilma loves bears. But Kodiak bears, nope. They are just. Yeah, you want to see a polar bear? I'll see a polar bear at the zoo. But you're on the menu. See, that's the thing. There's when Ms. Wilma, I don't know if you remember when we went to Gatlinburg, we were at the hotel, and the hotel had a sign, and it's everywhere. And the sign says, "If it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. If it's white, say goodnight." So basically, if it's a black bear, you're supposed to fight back, because if they attack you, they won't stop. If it's a brown bear, you lay down. So the thought is they would just leave you alone. They're like, okay, okay. If it's white, say goodnight because you're on the menu. So you better, if you fight back, you forget it. If you lay down, they're just to say, oh, free meal. So no. But you love those bears, don't you, Miss Wilma?
Oh yes, I love the black ones.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
Now wait. You like the black bears or the brown bears? I thought you liked the brown bears.
I like the grizzly bears.
Yeah, those are the big old brown bears, and that's what Melissa, who's from Kodiak Island.
Oh
yeah.
My stars. Yeah, the grizzly bears. Oh my stars. Yes, they're beautiful. It's a tie between the black bear and the grizzly because I love them both. So polar bear is pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know. But something about the black bear and grizzly bear. Oh my stars, they are beautiful.
I'm telling you, but they're big and scary. Big and those. They look like you could cuddle with them. Oh, I'm sure they do, Melissa. I'm sure they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's on your mind, Miss Wilma?
Well, I got an idea.
Oh, I'm afraid to ask.
Well, you talked about all those buttons a while ago.
Yep.
I got a fabulous idea. I can help.
Okay.
I can just give me your shirt and then bring your buttons and I can sew all your buttons on. How's that?
Okay, you really thought hard about that one, didn't you?
Not really.
No, I
can tell. It popped in my brilliant brain.
You don't say. You don't say.
I talk about buttons too.
Yeah, you're talking about you're pushing my buttons already.
I got a button. We all got a button.
You're like I said, you're pushing my buttons already, Miss Wilma. Already. We just started.
I kind of figured I was pushing your button. I was ready. I was ready to hear that one. I knew it was a kid.
You're getting ready to hear that. Yeah. Okay. Well, what else you got for us?
You know what happened?
What?
A man asked his girlfriend, "Are you still spending all your money on them old Beatle records?" She's like, "Yes, I need help. Get it? Help from the Beatles." You don't like that joke from the Beatles?
I have no control. We've already talked about this. I have no control if the studio audience is going to boo you.
Yeah. You push that. You know that button to push.
No, I don't.
You got that.
No, I'm telling you. I've gotten experience from it for your jokes. Yeah. Well, you're very welcome there, Miss J. Very, very welcome. So, all right. Well, Miss J says, huh?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Well, Miss J said, "Hi, Bishop. Thank you for all your sermons, shows, and everything. It's so nice to watch. God bless you." Well, thank you there, Miss J. And I'm so sorry that you have to be burdened and terrified with Miss Wilma's really, really bad jokes. Okay.
I'm not a comedian. Hey, you got the beat.
I got the beat.
I heard that drum.
I got the beat.
The booze and you get the beat. That don't sound good. I got the booze. I never
That's
drunk a lick in my
see,
life.
folks. There you go. I told you all. I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. What was that? What was that? Are you sure about that? No.
I have never took a drink or smoked.
Maybe Mr. Jim
life.
Jim Beam visited you before you went on the air.
Stay away from me.
Maybe Mr. Moonshine.
I don't like Mr. Jim Beam, whoever he is. He's got that bottle of wine, don't he?
Well, no, it's not wine, but we appreciate you trying. So that is a C for effort. We give you a C for effort on that.
You can get an F, but I got a C.
Well, that's yeah. Well, for those of you who don't know, Miss Wilma, when she was in school, so the teacher told her that they had to draw the United States map. So Miss Wilma, as a kid, thinks, "Oh, I'm going to be clever." So what she does is she goes home and traces the map in a book. Now it was supposed to draw the United States map. You traced it. And then Miss Wilma gets a grade. What happened? What was the grade that you got, Miss Wilma?
Okay.
Oh, no, don't switch. No.
A lot of hard work trying to hold that book up to a window and trying to trace that sucker. Then you got to get the other side and trace that. That's pretty hard to hold that book up.
Okay.
And I thought she didn't know I was that good of an artist. She saw that paper and in a red marker, she wrote a big F and then circled it. Well, I thought, okay. I played a little bit of basketball after that. When the bell rang for us, the leave, I played a little basketball. It went right into the trash can without a miss.
See, I would have been terrified. I would have been terrified. First of all, if I got an F in school, that would have been it. I would have been come to Jesus meeting. I would have stopped by church before I went home, because I was like, okay, I need a miracle now. I need a miracle because I'm getting ready to go home with an F. And then you threw the paper away that you got.
Yeah, I didn't want her to see it.
I don't know.
I did a pretty good basketball there. It went right in that basket. But see, what it is, I knew we didn't have no telephones.
Yeah.
Mom couldn't drive. Dad was at work. So I thought, they can't contact unless they came to the house. But I guess I was a little, I didn't think of that part.
Man.
But
must be nice. It must be nice to be able just to get an F and just, I'm just going to throw it away in the garbage. It's no big deal.
Yeah, what they don't know didn't hurt them.
Because you got a lot, because you told your mom you got a lot of fine and dandies, right?
Well, yeah, because I went there at Port Card, and Mommy was like, how'd you do at Port Card? And I said, I did fine and dandies. And she said, what? I'll never forget that.
And
she said, I told her I had fine and dandies. Well, when she looked at it, it wasn't fine and dandy, because she saw D's and F's. So she told me to go get a switch. Well, she didn't tell me how big. So I'd go up there and come back with a little twig.
A twig.
Little video thing. Well, she didn't like that, so she hit me back up there and say, now you're going to get it harder because she didn't bring me a bigger switch. I went, well, shoot.
And did you get this with a bigger switch?
But she only hit me once. Mommy never did hit much. It's Daddy doing. Daddy used belt, but Mommy didn't never whip us.
God,
she
you
would
are
fuss at me and stuff, but she never.
Spoiled rotten. Wilma's the baby of the family.
Spoiled rotten.
She's the baby of the family, so she gets spoiled rotten.
My mommy probably coochie cootied my sister and brother too.
Did you say coochie cootie?
Your mom probably. Yeah, it's like your mom probably went coochie.
Okay, my mother never coochied me. Never.
Well, you don't know because she was a baby.
I don't want to hear anything about coochie cootie and all that other nonsense. No. Unbelievable. Come on, Wilma. Coochie cootie.
Well, I do. I mean, I never was a baby. I never did. Oh, did I did coochie coo?
Yeah.
I tell you, I tell you what happened. I went to go see my little great nephew. As he's great, yeah, 2 greats.
Great.
Yeah, that's my great nephew.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was walking into the living room, and my niece was, helping me sit down. You know, that little stinker was laughing. He was watching me. I thought, so when I asked the baby's mama, can I hold him? I was sitting there, and he spit his little pacifier out. That little sucker was trying to talk much as he could.
Yeah.
I thought I would bless his heart.
Just laughing at you,
And I
just
said,
like that.
hi, honey, this is your Aunt Wilma. And I said, you're already started laughing at me.
Very smart baby. There's very, very wise. Very wise
But
baby.
it was the cutest thing. He spit that pacifier out like he was trying to his best to talk to me. He even went, he even did that.
Well, that's
He's trying to say good.
is that what he's trying to say? He's trying to say good.
Yeah, he's going coo coo. That's what he's saying. Goo goo. You know, baby talks, goo goo talk. What they do?
Now, what was he trying to say again?
Goo goo. Like he was.
I'm sorry. What?
A choo choo. Like ooh ooh. I said, good. He was telling me he was good. You never heard a baby say that?
Folks, and this is why Miss Wilma's. This is why her entrance is this right here, folks. This is why. I mean, the baby goes cuckoo, and somehow it's saying good. I don't know. You explain that to me.
That's what the baby's trying to spit out.
How
But he can't.
she was?
Yeah, he
How?
spit it out very. Yeah, but you understand what he's saying.
How, okay,
You know.
okay, but he's not. Okay, well, all right. Hey, well, okay. I guess the baby's saying good. I don't.
Yeah. You know,
Hmm?
did you know that a man bought an air mattress, and he asked the salesman, "Why does the air mattress cost more than a foam pad?" He said, "Because it's inflation." Get it? Inflation.
No. I'm sorry. That was another.
You
bomb.
don't like that one, either?
That was a bomb. Sorry. That's like strike
Did you hear
100.
about the poor duck?
I don't know. Did it go cuckoo?
No, but the poor duck.
What? What did it do?
Well, hold on.
Because if you
Oh, you tried again.
okay, here we go.
The poor duck.
Yeah, poor duck.
He had to get 2 jobs. Yeah, he did. He had 2 jobs. He had too many bills. Get it, bills?
There you go, folks. Drink it up if you have some. Drink it up if you have some. Cuckoo and quack and bill and drink. Might as well. I mean, cheers, everybody. Mhm.
Hey, did you know that eggs has a favorite sport?
What?
Did you know that eggs has a favorite sport?
Had no idea that eggs had a favorite sport. No.
Yeah, running. Hey, that's pretty good news, you did Boo.
Okay, that's not a good thing. Because I have a vision of you doing the chicken dance right now. And I can just see you because your jokes are absolutely out of this world, and I could see.
Did you know what the letter told the stamp?
Please tell us.
Hang around me, honey, and we'll go places.
No.
You don't want that one. You used to rock my joke.
Strike 500. Strike 500.
500. I didn't tell, but what? 3 jokes, and how to get 5 strikes? 500.
Because that's how bad they are. I tell you what, that's how bad they are.
That wasn't good.
No, well, that was a good try. That was a good try. Well, and we appreciate that.
I've been trying all night. I really have.
Okay.
I better get some stories.
Okay.
I got a story.
All right. What do you got?
A 10-year-old boy and 11-year-old girl, that's his sister, in Florida, was running away to California. They drove 200 miles in their mom's car before they was stopped by a sheriff's deputy. On an interstate highway, the officer saw them on 75 near Gainesville in North Florida. Just before 4 a.m., the mom had reported her car was stolen and her kids was missing.
Oh.
So 4 hours earlier in Florida, the police was thinking they were dealing with car thieves. And so they drew, their guns when they pulled the car over. The police officers drew their guns and told them to step outside the car. Well, he got a surprise when they saw a 10-year-old male driving with his 11-year-old sister. The kids told the police the girl was upset because her mom took away her electronic devices for misbehaving. So the boy was driving to California. They talked to the police and they said that there was no indication they had been mistreated. But the mom or anyone else in the home. So the mom declared to don't press charges, and the kids was released in her name.
What? That is crazy. What in the world? Can you imagine? I don't.
400. I mean, by themselves, 200 miles. The kids don't, because the mom took her electronic devices away. I was like, oh my stars.
I'm telling you, it's getting crazier. It's getting crazier out there with all these electronic. I mean, it's when a child takes a car because they don't get it electronic, that's insanity. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, and there's the poor mom thinking, oh, somebody took stole my kids, took my car. She didn't have any idea, thinking her own kids took the car,
That's crazy. That is crazy. There's no way. Now, what would you have done? What would your dad have done if you did that? If you had taken your dad's car because they took something away. I don't know. Let's say you had an iPad back in 1905.
I stole my daddy's car. Number one, I would be sitting down for a while. Might not still be sitting down.
Yeah, that is insane.
Yeah, there's a problem. I might not be able to sit down because, oh my stars, that's not good.
No.
I have another one.
Okay, what do you got?
A woman, not a woman, a woman. A woman.
What?
I do know how to talk, people. I do know how to talk. Okay, a woman working at a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
After putting the gas into a car, they carefully closed the door gas cap. The person inside the car approached the driver with a warm and cheerful gesture to collect the bill. But something heartbreaking has happened. Passenger in the car tossed the money out of his window to the ground and said, "Pick it up and consider it your tip." In the face of disappointment, she knelt down and picked up the money on the ground while she was tearing up, and then she started crying. The car drove away, and the woman couldn't hold back her tears any longer. She really started crying, quietly in pain, wondering what she had done wrong.
Wow.
I mean, that's mean. I mean, oh my stars. The poor woman, that was her job. And then turned around. I don't understand it.
Some people are just nasty. Some people are just really mean. They are.
I don't understand it. Do you have a story?
Well, yeah, I have a story. Do you want to hear some?
Yes, please.
This is interesting. These are getting stranger and stranger. I got to tell you, stranded dolphins are rescued from. Oh, thank you very much, Anya. Stranded dolphins are rescued from a shallow river in Massachusetts. Marine rescuers in Massachusetts rescued and released 2 dolphins found stranded in the shallow waters at the mouth of the Herring River. The International Fund for Animal Welfare said its team received reports at 9 a.m. Thursday that dolphins had been spotted swimming near the mouth of the river in a whale fleet. The teams arrived and found 2 dolphins stranded in the shallow part of the river. The rescuers attempted to lead the dolphins to deeper waters when higher tides came in, but their efforts were unsuccessful, and they ultimately decided to use a dolphin rescue vehicle to put the marine mammals out of the water. The dolphins were transported to Herring Cove Beach in Provincetown and returned to the water. The IFAW said it will continue to monitor the dolphins for the next few days using temporary satellite tracking tags. Isn't that insane, Wilma? They're in fresh water.
My gosh. Yeah, did you say a dolphin?
Dolphins, yeah, 2 dolphins.
Wow, now I knew about the sharks.
Mm-hmm. Well, bull sharks.
Oh my stars!
Yeah, bull sharks. Bull sharks have the ability to actually go upstream. They have the ability to go from salt water to fresh water, As a matter of fact, you you probably didn't see it, Wilma, because you don't like scary movies, but the movie Jaws. Of course,
I know I didn't yet.
it's actually based on a bull shark. That's why actually it's loosely based on a true story. Well, sort of, but basically, well, what happened is the bull shark swam up river, and there were kids that they always swam in this little tiny river. I mean, they never thought a shark would be in that river, and a shark attacked them.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I can't watch things like that. I can't handle that.
You like animals, right?
Oh, I love animals.
Well,
yes, I do.
Well, listen to this. Listen to this story. This is kind of crazy. I don't know about this one. Do you know what an emotional support animal is, Wilma?
That's being taken care of very properly.
No. An emotional support animal is like if you have, if you're struggling with anxiety, or if you're struggling with, or even if you have a health condition, they can kind of tell you if you're about to have a seizure. Yeah. Well, here, listen to this. A Pennsylvania man was unable to attend the game between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Pittsburgh Pirates when stadium security turned away his emotional support animal, an alligator. Folks, you got to explain this one to me. Joey Henney, a former hunting and fishing TV host who appeared on networks, including ESPN Outdoors, has had Wally the gator for about 7 years. And he had the unusually gentle reptile licensed as an emotional support animal while he was undergoing chemotherapy treatments. Well, Henney said Wally's visit to schools, hospitals, and assisted living facilities caught the attention of the Phillies, who invited to bring him to his pet to meet members of the team and their partners before Wednesday's game. Now, Henney said he and Wally arrived at the stadium too late for the meetup, as the players were already warming up on the field. So they said we brought tickets, and Wally has been into other baseball games, so we assumed that it was okay. Henney said, told CNN. We never asked or checked with it, but they only allow service animals such as dogs or horses into the stadium, not emotional support animals. Henney said that he was disappointed, but he understood being turned away by security at Citizens Bank Park. Now, I don't know. An emotional support animal, an alligator?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I can understand a dog, a cat, a horse. I mean, a horse is pretty big, but an alligator, I don't know.
I can't figure that one out.
I wouldn't. I don't think, because an alligator is not a pet. At least I don't. I mean, I don't think they are. I mean, I don't know much. I'm not, as far as that, I don't know what qualifies for a pet, but I just don't think an alligator would be like a pet to crawl up right next to you and take a nap. I don't get it.
Wow. Now, if you're ever in Pigeon Forge, I don't know if you remember or not, but we went into this store. I think it was the Three Bears.
Right.
They had an alligator in this little tank or something, and it was at the window. The woman opened up the door, was going to feed, and she was petting it.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And I thought, what in the world? That's an alligator, not a puppy. She did. She walked up to it, and she fed it, and then petted it. I was like, no, there's no way. So if you're ever in Pigeon, I think the Pigeon Forge or
I think it was in Pigeon Forge. I think you're right.
Okay, I think it's where the Three Bears. It's a story.
Yeah.
The store Three Bears. But now also there at the Three Store, there's you can go up. I think you had to take an elevator, but there you can see bears. They're black and white bears. I can't think the name of them, but they were beautiful.
Wow. Very cool. All right. What else do you have?
It's 8:30, so
okay.
I'm going to give you my movie for tonight.
Okay.
It's on Disney Plus, The Three Men and a Baby with Tom Selleck. Okay, are you what? I know sorry, I said something. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, I'm just
And,
fine. Go ahead and tell us
oh,
about.
okay.
Go ahead and tell us about
Anyway,
this movie that came out in 1920. Go
well,
ahead.
they
Yeah,
opened
go
up
ahead.
the door. They opened up the door, and there was a baby.
Yeah.
Well, these two men didn't know how to think. Oh, what are we going to do? I don't know how to change a diaper. I don't know how to do this. What do we feed them with? Well, anyway,
1987.
turned out that one of the three men was the daddy.
Go figure.
Well, I ain't gonna give it away, but I mean, what they do to this little thing, but they all three get attached to her, and then here comes the mom back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she sits down and she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do about raising a baby by myself. Well, those three men are attached to this little bitty baby, so they're thinking, well, hey, move in with us. So she moves in with them.
Sure.
That is the sweetest, the cutest movie about that baby. How they fell in love with that baby.
And I appreciate you telling us about that movie that came out in 1987.
Well, I don't know the years.
You do
You
do know 1987.
I don't pay attention to years. I just go through the Disney movies
Uh huh.
and I find them.
Oh, well, I'm.
Oh, Tom Selleck, okay, but that. Can you imagine opening up your door and there's a baby?
There's a baby.
You don't know how to take care of it.
That's how it happens. That's how babies happen. You just open the door and there's a little crying little baby that wants to be fed and change the diaper and burped and all this other stuff. That's how it happens, Miss Woman.
That's just so precious the way they all were. I just love babies.
I don't. I see. I can't. I'm getting very nervous around small babies. I get very nervous. I do.
Yeah, because you worry about their little heads.
Well, they cry. Oh, thank you very much, Jill. They cry and they make a lot of noise and bathroom all over themselves, and you don't know what they want. See, the thing is, for me, it's like, okay, what do you want? And then it just cries. No. What do you just tell me? Okay, but that's the problem. They need to go to school. What do you want? Tell me what it is that you need, and then I'll do it.
You have to.
Okay, I'm not psychic. I'm not
you're
psychic.
Changing, you're feeding, and if he's up from his nap and he still cries, then you walk the slower because he's probably got a little tummy ache. So you got to walk the slower or put him across your lap and kind of bounce him up and down. That helps with if he's got colic.
See, that's
but if you don't have colic, then you don't do that.
Well, how do you know if he has colic? He can't tell you, or she can't tell you.
If his little stomach's hurting, and you got colic.
Well, how do you know if his stomach is or him or her? How do you know if their stomach is hurting? Because it can't tell you. They're just crying.
It's just. I don't know. It's just nature that we know. You feed them, and then of course you got to burp them, and then you change little clothes and put them to sleep. But if they don't stop crying, then okay, something's going on. Then say, okay, you probably got the colic.
Yeah, it's time to take the batteries out. So just go to sleep. Just take it. Take a nap or something. Just chill. See, this is why I'll remain celibate for the rest of my life because I can't. No, because just take the battery and say I'm sorry, but this is not going to work out. You this crying thing. No.
Now, did you know about the baby dogs that's out? They look like real babies.
Oh, great!
And when you pick them, yes, I held one.
Oh,
it's like holding a real baby.
And you did that on purpose?
Huh?
You held one on purpose? Why would you?
Yeah, I held her. As a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so cute, but she felt like the real baby. She was so sweet, and they're only like over $200, I think.
Oh, that's
yeah, but yeah, they feel like a real baby. They had diapers. They got clothes to change. You got to feed them. It's like a real baby. I saw that and I thought, wow.
Okay, that sounds painful. Torture. You're spending $200 to be tortured.
No, you're not spending $200 to be tortured. You're spending $200 for the enjoyment.
I guess. You know what?
Baby.
Yeah, there's so much enjoyment about cleaning a dirty diaper and babying and then crying and then belching and colic and all this other stuff. No. Nope.
Oh, my stars.
Nope.
Well, it's 8:41. I'm going to jump off here because I know y'all will get to your parents.
What?
Your parents.
What did you say?
I know you would get to your ghost story.
One of those words. I'm trying to figure out what that word was.
Paranormal.
So what?
You take paranormal stories. What? That scary stuff stories.
Did you just say Paranorris?
Yes.
You just said Paranorris. You just created a new word.
That thing you like to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
The other things. I will jump off here, and I hope everyone has a great night. And I love all of you, and God bless.
Thank you, Miss Wilma, for coming on. Appreciate you.
I'm glad I got to. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
All right, everybody. That was Miss Wilma. She's Miss Wilma. She's our Wilma. That's the way it goes. Woo! You never know what Miss Wilma is going to say. But yeah, $200 baby, just to watch it cry all day long. I don't know about that one. I don't know, folks. I don't know. Okay. Oh wow, your little puppy gives high fives. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Oh yeah, I gotta turn her on. She keeps talking. Hush. There. Okay. There we are, everybody. Now we're there. Yeah, it's crazy. Miss Wilma, it's interesting what she has to say. Sometimes she just it's just one of those things. It's one of those things. Listen to this. This is kind of, I don't know about this one, but I wanted to pass this on to you guys and see what you guys thought about this. You know, the experts think that they know everything when it comes to the paranormal, yet they've never, ever investigated ever. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. And thank you, 502. Thanks for ordering that. Thank you. But this is from today. And I want to read this to you. This is from Sarah Lee Meyer. And it says, "Are ghosts real? What to know about paranormal activity according to experts." Okay. It says, "Have you ever experienced something that defies all logic? An unseen presence or something so inexplicable that it can only be described as supernatural?" Well, she says, you're not alone. According to 2022 YouGov poll, nearly 2/3 of Americans say that they've had experience encounter of some kind, including things like hearing unexplained voices, seeing objects move on their own, as well as other experiences that can only be considered, well, unearthly. And nearly 1 in 5 people polled claim to have seen a spirit or a ghost. Now, while apparitions from the afterlife make a scary horror movies and spooky campfire tales, the question is, are ghosts real? Is one people of almost every culture have been pondering for thousands of years. So to better understand the plausibility of the apparitions and other paranormal activity, today, that's reached out to a trio of experts to share their thoughts. So what are ghosts, they say? For many people, the word ghost conjures up one of two images: a menacing apparition that terrorizes unsuspecting homeowners, or a cute trick-or-treater covered in white bed sheet. Well, not me. I don't think of that at all. Pop culture perceptions aside, the Merriam-Webster dictionary, thank you very much there, Whiskey, defines a ghost as disembodied soul, or the soul of someone who's died that either lives in the spirit world or somehow still exists in ours. Sherry Dillard, who is a medium and author of the book I'm Still With You, says it's important to distinguish between ghosts and the spirits of loved ones who have passed on, because according to Dillard, they aren't the same thing. Thank you, Tony. She says, when loved ones die, she says they leave the earth and pass into a higher loving existence. Why can't we just call it heaven? Why do we have to, why do we have to keep, I don't understand this. Why do, heaven, that's what it's called. So a higher loving existence, whether it, the light, just to call it heaven. Why are we so afraid to call it heaven? It just drives me crazy. Anyway, similar to ghosts, Dillard says that we may occasionally feel the presence of those loved ones after they're gone, whether it be in dreams, paranormal activity, or other encounter. And in those instances, she says, we typically have feelings of warmth, recognition, or love. It doesn't emotionally incite. I disagree. She tells Today, for most people, we don't get scared or fearful. I disagree. Most of the time, people will recognize, oh, I feel like my grandmother was here, or my mother or father, or just have that feeling. Okay. Ghosts, however, are a different story, she says. Dillard says we rarely, if ever, know who they are. Usually it strikes us as a different energy. It strikes us as something that we're not familiar with, she explains. If not acquaintances or loved ones, then who are they? Well, most commonly, ghosts are human beings. People who pass over, she says, and for various reasons resist going into the light of that higher level of love and resolution. Anyway, she explains that one of the reasons a ghost might stick around instead of moving on to the other side is trauma. Then that's a person. I mean, it's a spirit. I mean, you have to make the decision. I mean, you're saying that basically a ghost is a person who passed away, and then you're saying a spirit is a person who passed away, and now you're saying they are different. They're not. Sorry, Toots. Anyway, there may have been in a sudden accident or some trauma unexpectedly, they don't realize that they're actually passed over. I know that sounds strange, but it's true. Yeah. Anyway, confused or lost, the ghost lingers, and what they do is try to clinging to any kind of energy source, and they'll cling onto a house or the people in the house. Ghosts can also be attached to other physical objects, she says, including antiques or anything with a strong emotional energy. Psychic medium Chip Coffey, which he's a friend of mine, has appeared on more than 130 paranormal TV shows, including Kindred Spirits. And much like Dillard, he considers ghosts to be deceased people whose souls haven't properly transitioned. They're kind of stuck in the middle someplace. They've remained on a third dimension plane. For whatever reason they haven't completed their transition into spirit, he says. Christine Simmons Moore, PhD, is a professor of psychology at the University of West Georgia who specializes in parapsychology research. Well, this is really not, there really isn't, it's not a thing. According to Simmons Moore, ghosts are found in every single culture and have been recorded throughout history. True. Ghosts come from experience, she tells Today.com. So human beings have had experience with spirits, and we can be neutral on whether some of those ghosts are genuine spirits or whether they are explained more normally. I don't know. To me, I think it's rather simple. I don't think it's complicated at all from a theological perspective. I think we all, every one of us, when we pass on, I think heaven is presented to us. I don't think heaven is forced upon any of us. And I think we can choose to remain here for whatever reason, or we can move towards heaven, if you will. I'm not going to call it a higher level. It's heaven. That's what it is. So, but see, here's the deal. Heaven exists outside of time and space. So I understand some people might have that trepidation, maybe fear, the fear of perhaps maybe being judged or condemned. But again, we don't know. We don't know because we haven't done it yet. I mean, there are people who have clinically died and come back, but I mean, until we're there, it's speculation. It's speculation. But I just don't think, I think that heaven is presented. I don't think heaven is forced. It doesn't make, to me, it does not make sense that heaven is forced upon anyone. So I certainly agree with that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the whole. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of believing that heaven is forced upon anyone. I just don't. I don't believe that. Listen to this. Tell me what you guys think about this. I would really like to hear what your thoughts are. because I have a lot to say. This is by Jake Carter. Life may be a computer game controlled by aliens, a new UFO documentary says. So here it is. The new UFO documentary, it's called God versus Aliens. That's what it's called, folks. You can look it up. You can Google that. It looks into whether life as we know it and perceive it is just a simulation designed and controlled by extraterrestrials for some unknown purposes. Now, there's a lot of people who truly believe this. No, that's no joke. There are people who are absolutely convinced that we live in a simulation. And it's called simulation theory and suggests that life is basically some sort of computer game. The Swedish philosopher Nick Bostrom proposed this actually in 2003. And it even has Elon Musk as a believer. He states that the odds of us actually living in a real physical reality are 1 billion to 1. Yeah, you're right. Jennifer's like, we're the Sims. That's basically what they're saying. I don't know about this thing, folks. You know what? Anyway, this theory would then make religion and even the idea of God as a construct of the computer game, and thereby the aliens controlling it. See, it's a constant desire to remove God from everything, isn't it? Everything. So now we're in a simulation. So now if we're in a simulation, God, it's just this. The film explores this theory and its impact on the world's religions should we make first contact, and especially if that contact would actually negate our physical existence and any notion of God as real. The film also features exclusive interviews with some of the world's leading UFO experts like Nick Pope, who used to run the UK's UFO desk for the Ministry of Defense. Now, he looks into whether ETs would bring their own religion and what would happen if they were really crazy out there religions, and would they impose them in a reverse kind of situation. Other interviewees include Professor Avi Loeb at Harvard University and some other folks. Seth, who is the chief astronomer from SETI. SETI is from Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, who is also the scientific advisor on the hit Jodie Foster film Contact. So the film investigates evidence for previous visitations from the Bible and other ancient texts, as well as exploring what role artificial intelligence would have in the search for ET, which, by the way, they're already using. They're already using artificial intelligence for search for extraterrestrial life. And whether alien life would also use artificial intelligence to make contact with ourselves. So Professor Avi Loeb states that extraterrestrial artificial intelligence may be from a kinship with human artificial intelligence and bypass humanity altogether. Now, the film's highlights include an interview with alien abductees, Tony Topping, who claims to have been taken by aliens since childhood and states that there are many types of aliens and that the universe is populated and we are being lied to. Both Tony Topping and author Brian Allen assert that there is a secret organization involved called the Collins Elite. So you can Google, if you're interested in this, you can Google that. Collins, Collins Elite, who work alongside the aliens and help cover up the abduction phenomenon. The new UFO documentary, God versus Aliens. It's now streaming on Tubi and AYOZAT, AYOZAT. It looks into whether life is just a simulation designed or controlled by extraterrestrials. No, I do not believe that we live in an. No, I don't. I'm not going to believe that we live in a simulation. I just don't believe that. I don't believe it. Because why? Here's why. If you believe that we live in a simulation, then that implies that God never gave us free will. That violates the very basic foundation and the gift that God gives us. So if you remove free will from the equation, then you have a God then that forces us into the situation because we can be manipulated. That we can either believe or not believe because it's all a simulation. So in other words, someone can put your belief in God to a level 10, or whoever's playing this simulation game can put your belief in God to a 0. And you will have no autonomy. I disagree. I think it's stupid because it just completely removes that aspect that God loves us so much that he gives us the ability to reject him freely. That is how much love that he has for us, and still loves us even when we reject him. So that whole theological concept then is thrown out the window if we live in a simulation and they can determine and dictate what our faith is. I disagree. I fundamentally disagree with it. And it's all the time trying to reduce the existence of God. So now I believe, I'm a believer that absolutely that there could be aliens here. And certainly I believe that there have been. But I'm not going to subscribe to the idea that we're this simulation. Mandela effect. The Mandela effect, for those of you, that's a really interesting topic. It's a phenomenon where a large group of people remember something differently than how it actually occurred, or that it's documented. It gets its name from the belief that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s, when in reality he was released and he became the president of South Africa. The Mandela effect has been attributed to various causes, such like false memories, collective remembering, and even alternate realities, a parallel existence. I mean, some famous people include the spelling of a children's book, like the Berenstain Bears or something like this. There's a bunch of them. But anyway, the Mandela effect is interesting. I mean, I guess it's, but I think that's human nature. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. No, they were not. Linda, the Nephilim were not offspring of angels and women. Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 tells us the Nephilim existed before the sons of men actually had relations with women. The sons of men were actually the children of Seth, the third child of Adam and Eve. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7, St. Paul tells us, don't argue over endless foolish myths of Nephilim or endless genealogies. It was actually a misinterpretation in the 3rd and 2nd century in the book of Enoch. Sorry, Jesus says that neither angels cannot marry or procreate. So that is incorrect. The Nephilim were not offspring of demons and women. That was actually, and that's example. That's a perfect example that Linda had posted, because that would be a form of a Mandela effect, because people keep saying this over and over and over and over and over. And they do that because they're selling a book or a TV or a movie. So the whole idea, the Nephilim actually means fierce warriors in Greek. It has nothing to do with offspring of angels and women. Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 tells us the Nephilim existed before and after the sons of men had relations with women. So therefore, they could not have been the offspring of demons and women. That is incorrect. It is invalid. It's theologically incorrect. And this is one of the reasons why the book of Enoch has a lot of errors in it. And that's actually not in the Bible. And not only that, but the book of Enoch actually places blame of sin directly on demons and angels, demons practically, and not us. So it removes the complete culpability of sin from our shoulders and place it on demons. That's incorrect. We have free will. So I've never watched Amberly. I've never watched Supernatural. I don't even know what it is. Is that I've heard, I'm familiar with the name, but I'm not familiar with the show. Yeah, Royce, here's the problem. Here's the issue with Father Amorth. I think Look, the man was highly intelligent. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But I also think that um, he seemed to think there was far too many people who are possessed, and I believe so. But he performed a lot of deliverances. So, but he devoted his entire life to the ministry, to his entire life. I just don't like what he did on, I believe it was 2020. I disagree with it. He should have never done it. It should have never been allowed because he actually performed an exorcism on someone on camera, on television. I think it was 2020. I think it was a Barbara Walters show or prime time. It was one or the other. That to me was an abomination. Should have never happened. Should have never been allowed, ever. And so I have a problem with that. Personally, I have a problem with that. And that's the issue. I'm sure I agree, Michael. I did not like the Pope's Exorcist. The ending of it was terrible. Do you guys agree with that? The Pope's Exorcist? I wasn't, yeah, you can't, you're not supposed to perform an exorcism on anybody on camera, but they did. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I don't know. But they get, they were given permission, and I don't know why they would do something. So, but they did. A Urantia book. Well, why not on camera? Because it's your family member who's going through hell and they're struggling and their body has gone through a very weakened state. And then you put a camera in front of them so the whole world can watch your loved ones suffer and struggle. That's not entertainment. That should not be done for entertainment. This is a very sacred. It's a sacred right. And for anybody to use this for entertainment purposes is appalling. And people say, well, it's done for educational purposes. Don't give me that. Because there are people that's going to be all excited and like, oh, we're going to watch an exorcism on camera. And then they have the little popcorn and Coke out and have a nice little fun night of it, watching someone going through hell. And I wouldn't want clergy to put a camera in front of my loved one who's going through screaming and excruciating pain while the demonic is manipulating the body so that people can be entertained. I don't know. I get very upset. I don't like people doing that to anybody. Okay, yeah. Someone was asking about the Urantia book. Urantia book is Urantia. I believe I'm saying that right. I am familiar with the Urantia book. It's a spiritual and philosophical work that presents what the authors claim to be an expanded and revelatory view, I guess, of the universe and the relationship to God. It's deep. I mean, it was first, I think it was in the 1950s when it was published. I can't remember exactly what year, but I believe whoever was asking about it, I believe it was in the 1950s. I remember there's 4 parts to it: the central and the super universes, the local universe, the history of Urantia, which is Earth, and the life and teachings of Christ. It's an interesting book. It touches it. There's a lot of wide range of topics on it, like cosmology, theology, philosophy, the nature of God, which was, I love that, and human beings, the universe. So there were some narratives of the origins, the history of the universe, spiritual concepts. Yeah, it's an interesting book. Yeah, I believe it was 1950s first published. Yeah, I think so. Well, I knew the Warren. I knew Lorraine, but I didn't know Ed. I didn't get a chance to meet him. But I actually know John Zaffis. John is their nephew, and I'm friends with John. It is a good book. I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting read. Yeah, Urantia. It's Urantia. Yeah. I mean, some really love some. I know there's a lot of people who love it. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. But however, there's a lot of people who do question. To be fair, though, there's a lot of people who question the authenticity and even claim to revelation. So there's some claim to revelation there. So, but we have to be fair. So, but I think it's an interesting book. I agree, Chrissy. I agree. Okay, you can Michael. You can contact Rich. Okay. Well, what are you crying there for, Miriam? Oh, he's a cool guy. John's a cool guy. Listen to this story. Is there going to be two moons to do that? No. Listen to this. Listen to this story, guys. This is pretty interesting. I'm kind of curious about your take on this. This is by Jake Carter. A married couple is perplexed by a strange phenomenon that is occurring in their vacant home. The couple had left their home in China during the day and returned in the evening, only to be horrified. Thank you very much. Horrified by the discovery of footprints on the ceiling of one of their rooms. Now, they had left the house unoccupied and now wonder if science can explain this mystery. These marks appear on the living room ceiling, and the homeowner turned to social media asking for answers. Lu, I think the homeowner from Wuhan, stated that he was baffled by an unusual occurrence in his empty residence. According to him, when he and his wife departed during the day, the ceiling was spotless. Upon their return in the evening, they found it now appeared as if someone had walked on it with dirty boots. And I'm seeing the picture here. How this is, and I have a theory. So footage captured Lu himself distinctly showing footprints scattered on the ceiling. He mentioned that he and his wife were frightened throughout the night. And in the morning, they decided to inspect the living room, but the marks had not vanished. Lu shared the photo. And so there's with the Chinese counterpart of TikTok and accompanied by caption, "Can science provide an explanation for this?" First of all, we have to assume then that these individuals are telling the truth. That's number one. So let's be fair. We have to, if they're just saying, well, that we left and all of a sudden now there's boots on the boot footprints on the ceiling. So we have to assume then that they're telling the truth. So my immediate skeptical mind says, well, I mean, anybody could put water on the bottom of a boot and, put it on a stick or something and then put it up there. And now you have a footprint. See, that's what I'm thinking. That's where my mind goes. Not only that, I'm also skeptical, perhaps maybe the individuals, and I don't know, the individuals who put the ceiling up, maybe someone had stepped on it, left an imprint there, they didn't see it, and perhaps moisture, perhaps it got to, I don't know, there's a lot of moisture in the air, and now the footprint appeared. See, that's what I think. That's how my mind, and that's what I would look at first. Not so much, oh, there's a ghost actually on the ceiling walking upside down. That's the last thing I'm going to think. I'm going to think, okay, what's the logical explanation? Either one, they're faking it. Or two, perhaps maybe someone who made the ceiling walked on it accidentally, forgot to clean it thoroughly, and left a boot imprint, and perhaps the moisture in the air caused the imprint to show. That's what I think. So it's one or the other. But you guys can check that out. I'm kind of thinking that it's probably that. And I don't want to think that they're lying, but because I don't know. But that's more than likely it's one or the other. It's one or the other. This is by Brittany Annis. And this is also allegedly for those of you who have homes. So listen to this. How to tell if your hotel or even your home is haunted. Let's talk about this. Brittany Annis. Spooky season isn't upon us, she says, and leave it to historic hotels to tell some of the very best ghost stories about guests who never checked out. In fact, Historic Hotels of America keep a running list of its 25 most haunted hotels. Many hotels market their ghosts with tours and merchandise, helping drum up revenue to cover historic preservation costs. Take Hotel del Coronado in Coronado, California. where the property's historian leads a haunted happenings tour, relaying the tale of Kate Morgan's 1892 visit and the mystery surrounding her death, and the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, a historic property that garnered a reputation for being a Disney for ghosts, and is also the hotel that inspired The Shining. Guests have snapped photos in a staircase and later apparitions in their shot. So if you are among the 46% of the American population that believes ghosts are real, how do you know if your hotel room is actually haunted or the property just needs some electrical upgrades to stop the lights from flickering? There we go. For believers, hotels are well known for haunts, which can be attributed to how many people walk through the doors and spend time at the property. So let's get into this. This is what they say. And some of these I think are pretty true. Objects move without assistance. Yep, I've seen that. I've seen it during my investigations. Objects move or music playing is one of the biggest signs of a haunt that paranormal experts pinpoint. It could be anything from a pen to glass moving without aid in front of you while you're asleep or while no one was in the room, says fourth generation medium Ariel Sterling. You may even see movement through fabric like curtains, drapes, hanging towels, or bedding. Now, see, here's the deal. When someone tells me that their drapes move, my immediate thought is, okay, do you have a floor vent? Or do you have a ceiling vent? Because many times, especially in hotels, they have a floor or ceiling vent or even on the window. So that's my immediate thought goes there. It says here, after weeding out any possibility of someone else moving objects such as housekeeping or your travel partner, or that the air is on, you may consider that this is a sign of a hotel haunting. That's fair. Jay Fanning, a paranormal tour guide at the Elms Hotel and Spa in Kansas City, Missouri, says stories that there range widely, including seeing a woman in white, objects moving in rooms, splashing in the pool, wet footprints. That happens a lot. I talked about that at Waverly Hills. Jazz music randomly playing. Electronics turn on and off. Yep. That does happen. While this can happen, however, let me tell you this. I've had a lot of poltergeist cases before, and it mimics sometimes it mimics demonic activity. And I've said this before, the number one form of destruction with poltergeist is fire. So the electrical appliances will shorten out and it could be a fire or light bulbs will pop. And it happens in every single poltergeist case that I've worked. Well, see, why, that's a good question. It's a form of a lot of people think that someone says why 502 Louis said why wet footprints. Some people are saying that is a form of ectoplasm. Some people say it's a residual energy. So there's a lot of debate as far as what the most haunted Walmart. I have not. No. Oh, yeah, you're welcome, Mike. Dark Siege is a great book. It's a phenomenal book. Actually, I'd encourage everybody to get them. So electronics turn on and off. That's true. That has happened. I've seen that. You smell cigarette smoke or perfume. Now, this has happened to me. I have been to locations before where there was absolutely no cigarette smoke. There was no one around. And I was doing research, investigation, and just overwhelming to a point of a perfume, a lady's perfume. My immediate thought, okay, is someone outside? Because I knew no one was in the room. Then my other thought was, okay, is someone in the room next door to me? Because my thought was, okay, is it the central air? That perhaps maybe someone in their next room that I don't know has strong perfume and it's circulating through the vents. The problem was this house did not have central air. It had window units. So I was thinking, okay, well, it's probably outside. Well, it couldn't have been outside because I was on the second floor. So just things of this nature is quite interesting. So then I think, well, do they have some type of fabric? Sometimes people put dryer fabrics, the little fabric dryers or whatever they're called, in their air conditioning unit to smell up the house, to make it smell nice. They didn't have that. It just all of a sudden was random. And that has happened before. You feel cold spots? Absolutely. No doubt about it. There is also they say you can feel moody, and that's true. Sometimes there's a change of attitude. It says lastly, you should pay a special attention to drastic changes in your personal mood, especially if you're an empath. Now, I absolutely 1,000,000% believe in empath. I consider myself to be an empath. You have to be very, very careful. When an empath is just a person who's actually can feel other people's energy. You actually feel it. So if they're happy, you feel it. If you're sad, you feel it. If you actually pick up on those emotions, that is something that there's no doubt. No doubt. I know that exists, and no one could tell me otherwise. No, Claire, I do not. And of course, when it says here, those off feelings may be combined with more signs like your electronics acting strangely, items being moved on their accord, and doors closing on their own. They say so, and when that happens, that's when it's time to remove yourself from that location, because that could be a problem, and you don't want to continue. Yeah. Okay, El Salvador has the phenomena of Bigfoot and now Dogman. Dogman is a crazy one, isn't it? Dogman is that's an interesting. I know there's a lot of people say I don't believe in it. That's a thing called Dogman. There's a lot of people who swear that Dogman exists. Yep, there is a Dogman out there. There is, folks. There is. Oh, you're welcome, Claire. That's a theory. Well, it's a cryptid. It's a cryptid, folks. So Dogman refers to a cryptid. It's or myth. A lot of people say it's a mythical creature. It's said to resemble a large, upright canine, like a dog-like creature. There's been alleged sightings of Dogman circulated primarily. It has been in North America, but of course now we have in South America, and of course in El Salvador. And although similar cryptids exist in various cultures around the world, but have we ever caught a Dogman? No. I don't know. I've never seen a Dogman. I've never. It would be God. See, my mind thinks half man, half dog. I was like, how's that going to work? I mean, does it need flea and tech protector? I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, how does that happen? So, but hey, some people swear by Dogman. Okay, I've never seen a Dogman, but some people tell you you're not going to convince them that they don't exist. Yeah, I knew Lorraine. I did not know Ed. Yes, Gruff McGruff. That's right. Well, thank you there, Giggles. And it could be a birth defect. Yeah, certainly. But this cryptid apparently is a bit more than just a human being that has, abnormalities. So it's something that people have said that has tried to attack them. Yeah, Zach is a good guy. Yeah, I like Zach. I'm a friend of Zach, and Zach is an executive producer and owner of Ghost Adventures. And so people, there's some people are going to like him, some people are not going to like him. I've told him many times that he pushes the envelope, and I told him a long time ago at Bobby Mackey's, dude, you gotta stop provoking, you gotta stop inviting, you gotta stop it. But that he's got. When you're the executive producer and you're the owner, you have to produce. That's all there is to it. And if you don't, your show gets canceled. And that's how it works. So, it's one of those things. Yeah, there's a lot of people that's going to say a lot of, you know what? And here's the deal. They probably don't even know Zach. And so it's kind of like, yeah, he wears glasses. Yeah. But there's a lot of people who want to say, this and that, and they don't even know him. There's a lot of really, really great qualities about Zach that people don't know. And so I just, there's people are always going to say something, they're always going to say something. And that's fine. You don't have to be a fan. You don't have to be a fan. That's, everyone has the right to say, no, I'm not a fan. That's okay. That's okay. But there's a difference between attacking the person and not even knowing them, It's kind of like, Oh, have you, do you like the show? Oh, thank you for subscribing, Che Girl. Thank you, and thank you for everyone subscribing. Have you guys watched the Travel Channel show? Um, no, I don't know. So no, I don't. Someone's asking on Messenger. We don't know if there's going to be a season 2 on Eli Roth presents Legion of Exorcists show. I don't know yet. The season 1 did very well. I had quite a few viewers, but as far as season 2, we simply don't know. We have not been told if there's a season 2, and but if there is, I will let you guys know. Obviously, there's a there was a problems because of the writer's strike, so but we don't know. And okay, no problem, Marie. Yeah, well, I promise you, if I hear that they're going to do a season 2 of the Legion of Exorcist show, believe me, I'll let you guys know, because they'll tell me, hey, Bishop, we need to come out to Los Angeles and start filming. So, and if I have to film, then I won't be able to do some shows that week. So, but I'll let you know. Travel Channel, by the way, the Ghost Town Terror, for those of you who like it, returns with an all new episode on the Travel Channel. And so that's Travel Channel 2 I'm contracted with as a cast member. A new season of the Ghost Town Terror featuring Tim Wood and Sapphire Sandola returns to the Travel Channel in the United States with 6 brand new episodes on September the 28th. On the outskirts of Anaconda, Montana, sits Gunslinger Gulch, a sprawling ghost town and guest ranch. When the Broussard family answered the beckoning call of a new life in Big Sky Country, they soon discovered the ranch offered anything but the serene Montana lifestyle. Instead of peace, menacing supernatural activity plagued the family. This season, a home chimney fire becomes a catalyst for a new threatening dark activity, and the paranormal team is called back into action. Paranormal investigator Tim Wood, which, by the way, I was on his YouTube. Tim, great guy, really great guy, and he asked me to come out and do a blessing there because they were going into a location that was pretty rough. So Tim Wood and a paranormal researcher, Sapphire Sandola, returned to Gunslinger Gulch to embark upon a 2-fronted war. So there we go. Check it out. It's going to be September the 28th. Well, that's what premiered. And then the next the episode is October the 5th. Then October 12th, and October 19th, and 26th, and November 2nd. So that's on the Travel Channel, called The Ghost Town. The Ghost Town Terror. Oh, it's also on Discovery. There you go. Oh, they did. Oh, I'm going to have to find out what's going on about that one. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, you listen to Sapphire podcast? Okay. I do have a podcast for those of you. Are you going to see Exorcist Believer? I saw the trailer and I don't know. I have that feeling. I just have a feeling that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just have that feeling that it's going to be one of those. Why? I don't know. I've seen the trailer, but yeah, the Mothman. There's a lot of people who say that I saw the Mothman. I don't know what it was. I talked about that last night. Something is there. A lot of people swear that they've seen him. I saw some creature that I guess it looked like him. And there's nothing wrong with that, Punky. Well, the show is called The Sacred Division, but you can go on to, I don't know how to promote it. I'm just not a very good promoter as far as but you can go on to Bishop James Long. And if you click on where it says social media links and click on the podcast, and it takes you to Spreaker. And that's all my shows. I have all of my paranormal shows, all of the open mic night shows, the Bible study shows, the night prayer shows. They're all there. So feel free to, it's on Spreaker. That's strictly audio, obviously podcasts. But if you go to bishopjameslong.com, scroll down to where it says social media links, and it takes you right there. I don't know what Mothman is. I guess that I don't know. It would be this unexplained phenomenon. like I was talking about yesterday, I guess some people say that I saw a Mothman. I don't know if I did or not. I know I saw something. I know me and three other people saw something, and a lot of people say that's the Mothman. But I don't know. I can't define it. I wish I could. I wish I could, but I'm unable to. Yeah, I'm unable to do that. Listen to this. This is I read this the other day, and I wanted to pass this on to you. I did Jack's show, Jack Osborne, Portal to Hell show, when he did the Bobby Mackey's episode. Great, he's a really cool guy. He is such a nice person. Truly is just a class act. And so they asked me to go. I think it was in Cincinnati, and we met. I met up with him there. And we just did an interview. They talked to me about Bobby Mackey's, and it was that episode. Well, this is from Ace Showbiz. Sharon Osbourne's pulse dropped, and she became unresponsive on a paranormal show. The son of Jack Osbourne, offers details of what happened to his mom, Sharon, when they were filming Night of Terror in January, before she was rushed to hospital due to a medical emergency. Sharon Osbourne's mystery hospitalization was caused by paranormal activity, her son Jack Osbourne believes. The 70-year-old showbiz matriarch was shooting Night of Terror with her youngest child at the Glen Tavern Inn in Santa Paula, California, in January, when she suffered a medical emergency. And the 37-year-old star claimed what happened to her defied medical science. There have been reports of this room that we were in with some kind of strange evil entity. The medium we had do the walkthrough said, this thing hates women. He told Entertainment Tonight. And what happened was, we had pretty much wrapped for the night, and we were like, hey, let's go do one more experiment just before bed. We had got a little bit of time, so Mom, go in the room, put a blindfold on, and just sit quietly and ask questions and see what happens. And something weird happened. I can't explain what happened to her. Explaining, Sharon's pulse dropped, and her breathing turned shallow as she became unresponsive, he added. Truth be told, I thought she'd had some kind of stroke or some kind of aneurysm or something. But when they took her to the hospital, she had every test done imaginable, and they found nothing wrong with her. Jack finds it weird watching the footage back, but also fascinating. He said it's hard watching it back because you're like, that's my mom. She's not doing so great. But it's interesting from an investigative standpoint because I think it's some really interesting paranormal evidence. It's on. I have a YouTube page. Yeah, you can go to again, Bishop James. All of my social media links are there. BishopJamesLong.com. Scroll down, you'll see social media links, and it takes you right there. But isn't that crazy? So that was a show that they were filming, Night of Terror, and they filmed that in January. That's a new show that they have out, and they were at the Tavern Inn in Santa Paula, California. So check that. You might want to Google that and see if there's an update. I don't know when that show is going to air. Music can be cursed. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, whether people like it or not, I have had the opportunity of listening to some music that certainly did not have lyrics that were kind or even respectful to God, and were just blasphemy. I mean, it was just blatant blasphemy. And there are some modern musicians today that there's no doubt in my mind that what is behind them is evil, pure evil. Matter of fact, I think that's my opinion. As a matter of fact, that one singer, I don't know what his name is, but they did that thing where they went to, it was outside, and it was people were talking about how it was he was a Satanist, I believe, and I can't remember his name, but he's people were describing it was like going into a scene of hell. Do you know who you know that guy? No, 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 no. It wasn't Sam Smith. I forgot though what his name was. No, it wasn't JC. It was remember, it was somebody. I think somebody died. And because they were crammed in there, they were crammed in really, really bad, and people were crushing each other. No, and Travis, I think it was Travis. I think that's right. I think it's Travis somebody. Aaron Travis, or is it Travis Scott? Man, let me see if I can find it. He's yeah, Travis Scott. I'm sorry. I watched what was that concert called? Do you guys remember that concert? It was Astro World, folks. Let me tell you something. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm going to tell you this right now. When that person, whoever that person was, when they got trampled on and they were carrying that person, everybody was doing that, and he was doing this weird chanting crap. No way. No way. That was pure evil. That was absolute 1,000,000% evil. And I don't, and again, I'm not, I'm not into we're not talking conspiracy theory. When I saw that, I thought that is an absolute chant. That is a demonic evil chant. If you have, I saw it. I actually watched it because I wanted to form an opinion on it based on what I saw, not on what other people are telling me. So I watched the entire concert. Not only did I watch the entire concert, but if you're very, very careful and you can pause certain lights that flash, you can Google, go on YouTube. There's plenty of information there. But that place, that concert was evil. That was pure demonic. 1,000,000%. Well, I mean, oh yeah, because there is music out there that's very aggressive and even very hateful to God. I mean, some lyrics that are pretty rough, and that's demonic. That's evil, and that absolutely is cursed. That's blasphemy. And there are some really terrible lyrics. I mean, yeah, there's some bad. There's some um, not good songs out there. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't mess around with that, but no, I certainly wouldn't listen to Mr. Travis Scott. There's no way. The Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant. Someone's asking who asked that question. Roger. Roger's asking the Ark of the Covenant. It was a sacred chest. It was described in the Bible as containing the tablets of the Ten Commandments in the Holy of Holies. It was believed to be a symbol of God's presence among the Israelites, and it was kept in the innermost chamber of the tabernacle, and later in the Temple of Jerusalem. So, yeah, I've never. I'll be honest with you. I've never listened to any type of music backwards. I've never listened to it, so I wouldn't. I can't form an opinion based on I, I sorry. I wish I could tell you, but I've never heard it. So maybe one day I'll listen to it just to form an opinion. I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are. Excuse me. No, Punky. In the Bible, there's no mention. Excuse me, man. The allergies. There's no mention of Moses dropping a tablet or any form of written commandments, according to the biblical Exodus, the Bible, in Exodus 31, chapter 31, verse 18. God inscribed the Ten Commandments onto two stone tablets and gave them to Moses at Mount Sinai, as we know. And Moses then later ascended from the mountain with the tablets to share God's. However, when he saw the people worshiping a golden calf, he became angry and threw the tablets, breaking them. So as far as dropping them accidentally, no. But he, I mean, he came back in Exodus chapter 32, verse 19. Here they are worshiping a cow. So then later Moses went back up the mountain and received a new set of tablets, which was in Exodus chapter 34, verse 1. Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, no, no. It wasn't when you say dropping the one break, they broke. Yeah, but they broke because he threw it. He wasn't like, he didn't like, okay, here I go. You know what I mean? It's like, I can see God's going, oh, really? Seriously, Moses, one job. You had one job, dude, to take the tablets down to the Israelites. And what do? You trip and drop them. Seriously? No. He threw them at him, and they broke, It can be hard for them, Rennie. Yeah. I mean, listen, when you go to a haunted location, uh, a lot of people call them hitchhikers. Okay, fine, if that's what you want to call them. But when you go to a haunted location, you have to understand that things can happen, and things have happened. The people have gone to haunted locations and they have gotten attachment. That's happened before. That some people say, "Oh, Bishop, I wish you wouldn't say that. I wish you." Well, I'm not going to lie. I mean, it has happened. I've had cases where people did that, and that's where they think they have that attachment. So, yeah, you had one job, Moses. Come on, you had to you had to fall over the rock. Seriously, dude, come on. What do you want from me? Yeah, about the government releasing UFOs files. I tell you what, Antonio's asking, what do you think about the government releasing UFO file, and are they real? There's, what I don't think this is a conspiracy theory. I think there's something going on. I think it's a slow drip for a reason. And here's what's very fascinating. Now, I will tell you this, something, and I should do a show on this. I absolutely believe that something is going on in Antarctica. Now, I don't know what. I haven't done enough research to find out what in the world is going on. There actually was a researcher who went public, who worked in a security firm there in the military. I forgot what branch it was. And he actually talked about what he saw. And you can Google this. I think it's called sky blue ice or blue sky ice. It's one or the other. I can't remember what it was. But you can Google that. And that's kind of creepy. And that's weird. Very strange. But if you Google blue, I think it's blue sky ice, or let me see if I'm blue sky ice Antarctica. Antarctic's blue ice. It's kind of it's a rare. But see, this person, it's not the blue ice that you just see a regular picture of. What he actually says is they were drilling in very, very deep, and the further you go, then this ice it conforms to your body. It doesn't melt. It will. I don't know. You'll have to read it. It's kind of strange, and I don't know. Let me see if I can find it, because if I find it, I'll bring it. Yeah, I can't find it right now, but if I find it, I will. I'll bring it out. I'll talk about that. But I think there's something going on there, because there's far too many countries. Folks. You follow the money. You go to Antarctica, you're spending some money there, and first of all, you're going to Antarctica, and you're building structures. Now, some people say, well, yeah, that's just countries trying to grab more land. It's ice. I mean, what's going on there? And it's very inhospitable. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, you can get to minus 90 degrees, and it's very cold, dangerous, life-threatening situations. So there's something strange going on, and I really do believe that. I think there's something going on. one of the some telltale signs that a loved one may be possessed or is vulnerable possession, besides the theatrical signs like actual signs, environmental signs. Well, first of all, if you're going to have possession, you're going to have demonic infestation. Demonic infestation is when the demonic has infested itself within a home or building. So your religious objects are desecrated. The bangings of three. You smell sulfur. You will have, or sometimes the rotten flesh. People will be attacked, scratched, bit. Sometimes they will see ghastly images. And it is a process. It's a process to where the person has no memory of being possessed. By the way, in the Roman Catholic Church's history of possession, no one remembers the stage of possession. They remember what led up to possession, but they don't remember the actual stage itself. It almost goes into a catatonic state. So they have no memory of it. But as far as what leads up to it is when you're dealing with demonic oppression, it affects the person to a point where they isolate themselves from their family, and even have an aversion to religious objects, or even churches. But that can also be that could be mental illness too. So there's a variety of things that occur with someone there's something else going on. Now, possession, a person can levitate. Eyes can go solid black, but the eyes going black could also be a neurological condition. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually possession. Markings can appear on the body, and the contortion of the body can occur as well. Imitations of deceased loved ones, multiple pitches when they scream. So these are all things that actually do happen during an exorcism or possession. Do you have to give up the free agency to follow? I don't understand. What was the question? Do you have to give up free agency to allow possession? Oh, I see what you're saying. The invitation. Yeah, there has to be see, that's a tough one, because I would say 99% of the time you have to have some form of invitation. But there was one case that I worked. She did nothing. There was no invitation at all. And the only thing that we could conclude is that it had to have been from Santeria. It was a curse placed upon her. She was 68 years old. That was the incubus case. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Giggles. That was the incubus case. That was violent. That was very violent. And her daughter-in-law wanted her property. And she said, no, you can't have my property. And so she cut her hair, and a little small piece of her hair, and then she was having violent activity. That is the only thing that we could come up. That was the only thing. That was it, because she never did anything to form any invitation at all. So that was a pretty rare instance. But most of the time, and all the exorcisms that I had performed, other than that one, there was some form of invitation, some form. See, Emily Rose, that's a Candy. That's a really Emily Rose is also known as Anneliese Michel. She was German. She was very, very devoted Roman Catholic. The priest, I think there were a lot of things that went wrong with that performing, with that exorcisms. She had grand mal seizure, and at that time they really didn't know how to treat it. So what they did is they put her in a mental institution, really, and the medicine, she said, caused her to see ghastly figures. That's where she'd start describing that these ghastly figures would come and speak to her and scream at her, and so her family decided that the medicines weren't working. And as a matter of fact, her family even said the medicines even caused the hallucinations to increase. So the family, along with Annalisa, said, no more medicine, no more. I'm not going to do it. And they strictly rely on the solemn rite of exorcism and prayer. And that's fine. That was their right. But there was really some major problems with that, because she, it should have been stopped. She was 68 pounds when she died. She died of malnutrition, dehydration. And that is very common. It can occur during an exorcism or exorcisms, because the body can only sustain so much trauma. Yeah. If it was an invite, can the person evict the demon on their? Well, you can See, here's the problem with that question. The person is, if it is an invite, can you evict the demon? It depends on what the type of the stage that you're in. When you are in the stage of oppression, so because there's 3 stages, there's infestation, oppression, obsession, possession. Oppression is really obsession and oppression. So when you have a demonic attachment and it is attacking you, then you have what's called a prayer of deliverance. So someone can pray over you to remove that attachment. You can absolutely do that yourself. Pray absolutely. But you have to remember, during the stage of oppression, the intellect and will is being beaten, is being attacked by the demonic. When I say intellect and will, it's biting you, it's scratching you, it's pinching you, it's terrifying you, it's causing you to have extreme sleep deprivation. And you're past tired. You're not tired, you're past that. Your body, it gets to the point where the will is eradicated. You can't fight anymore. That's it. Your body gives up. That's the will. And then it begins to attack the intellect. And that's called demonic obsession. And that's when it begins to interact with you. So and it can simultaneously, they can go hand in hand together. So you can have demonic oppression and demonic obsession at the same time. So you begin to hear it, the voice, you can smell the breath. These are all just to break you down. And when you're at that point, when the intellect and will is being eradicated, that's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous, because once the intellect and will is eradicated, and that's when possession can take over. And at that point of time, you really need clergy to come involved, because the body can't fight. There's no more energy. So there is no more will to fight it, because you're past that, right? You're past that, past exhaustion. And and there's 2 types of possession. There's called transient possession and perfect possession. Transient possession is when the demonic will enter the body and leave at will. Annalise McKell, Emily Rose, she had transient possession. So there were times that she was up and she could play piano and she was her normal self. And then but the demonic was constantly attacking her. The demonic would never let up, because it was constantly attacking the intellect and will, because it did not want the intellect and will to strengthen, because then it would have to restart the process all over again. So it'll constantly attack the intellect and will so that it comes right back into transient possession. And then perfect possession is when the person is in a constant stage of possession. So it really just depends on the stage of where the person is in possession. So, yeah, Mistress Melissa, there's I have the case file, and I have all the sound, most of the sound bites in her during some of her exorcisms. There are some that are on YouTube that are fake, but it's bone chilling, So, well, Electric, you don't have to listen. I mean, I didn't come to your I didn't come to your live. You came to my live, so I appreciate your opinion, but it weakens the intellect. So what someone said, when you have drug things of this nature, it weakens the intellect, and because it weakens the will, and it clouds sometimes the thought process, and that's where you have to be really careful about that. Yeah, Gina, there's no Gina's good question. How long is each stage of possession? It doesn't oppression. It really depends on the individual. I've seen possession enter quickly, but I wouldn't say certainly not overnight. But yeah, it just depends on the individual. She was, Victoria. It was a true story. Yeah, she said she absolutely believed that she saw the Blessed Mother. Oh yeah, Antonio can. I've heard of that, actually. Well, I don't know how you think that you're possessed, because you wouldn't know if you were possessed. Well, we create hell. Hell exists, whether people like it or not, because God doesn't force heaven upon you. So we can freely, totally reject God completely. That's the purpose of hell. And hell is one place where God doesn't exist. There's no hope. So that to me would be pure hell. Oh yeah, yes. People can be possessed for years. Yeah. Um. Yeah. She was. I mean, she was possessed for some time. But again, it's you got to remember that the body can only sustain so much. No, I don't talk about what we do prior to the exorcisms because I have to be careful, because if I do that, then people go around saying that Bishop Long taught them how to perform and prepare to perform exorcisms. People do, yeah, people do that. Yeah, there is a yeah. Can you be so scared that your hair turn white? Yeah, can that be true? It is. It's called yeah, yeah. It's actually called chromotrichial fear, I believe. Chromotrichial. I think I'm saying that right. Chromotrichial fear, or fright induced hair graying. It's actually it's a phenomenon that actually exists. Yeah, you can look that up. It's chromo, chromo, and then trichial, chromotrichial fear. Yeah, yeah. It actually that phenomenon actually exists. Yeah, St. Francis is great. Absolutely, Amanda. 1,000,000%. No matter what anyone tells you, I'm telling you, as an exorcist, as someone who has performed 30 exorcisms on people who were violently possessed. Anybody who tells you that a Christian cannot be possessed has no training in demonology and has never performed an exorcism in their life. I am telling you with 1,000,000% yes. Because there's this belief out there that Christians cannot be possessed. That is a lie, and I'll tell you why. We may believe that Jesus Christ is our personal Lord and Savior, and we may absolutely 100% say that, and that's fine. But that still doesn't reduce the fact that we have free will. And that still doesn't reduce the fact that we can give an invitation. So, for example, I believe and I confess that Jesus Christ is my personal Lord and Savior. Wonderful, you're a Christian. Now, I can also go to a location that is known to have demonic infestation and go out there and say, come on, I dare you to do something. I dare you to push me. You're not so tough. Come on, do it. That is called invitation. And you've given the demonic now the invitation that it needs in order for possession to occur. That's free will. So anybody who tells you otherwise has never, ever trained in demonology, and they've never, ever performed an exorcism. So I can tell you 1,000,000% yes. And I know that to be a fact because I've had people who were Christians who were possessed. So yes. Yeah, you can. Yes, absolutely. You can revoke the invitation. Now, of course, what we do as Catholics, we once you do that, we believe in the sacrament of reconciliation, otherwise known as confession. So we say that needs to be a confession needs to be done. But that's again that's from a Catholic perspective. So I actually believe in God. Why do people get possessed? Because they allow it, because they give the invitation. Contact clergy if you think your friend is possessed. I've had someone who was an atheist that was possessed. Born again is just stating, I confess that Jesus Christ is my personal Lord and Savior. And see, in Catholics, our born again process is what we call the sacrament of confirmation. So we confirm our faith. So many people would say that would be a form of being born again, if you will. Why wouldn't God not create them? Well, welcome, Chatty. I'm glad you're. What part of it is when you see shadows, flies all of a sudden appear, then just go away, arguing among siblings, like a trigger dissipates, but first there's something like a shadow figure noise. Okay, see, that's the thing right there, Patrick. You had mentioned fighting. Now that could be that could be a couple things. If you're having electrical appliances catch fire, if you're having light bulbs pop, or just fire, period. Banging sometimes will happen, but prayers, you can say prayers and it does absolutely nothing at all. There's no reaction. That actually is called poltergeist. It's negative energy that a family is omitting, but it could also be a form of a demonic oppression when the demonic is attacking the family. So, but without actually knowing, you know, and actually being there and investigating, I wouldn't know. Stop this nonsense. Okay. Well, since you said, Liam said, stop this nonsense. Well, okay. So we got to stop because Liam said stop. Can we say narcissist much? User says 20 user 26 816. Why do demons target believers instead of non-believers who anger them? Well, actually, I've had an atheist who is possessed, but I can tell you this: the closer you get to God, the harder the devil works against you. Yeah. Oh, you saw The Nun too? Stop your misunderstanding. Okay. Who's misunderstanding? Stop your misunderstanding, dear. No, don't mute her. Don't, because I think Mistress is good. Mistress is friend. So stop your misunderstanding. No. Can we unmute her? No, she's fine, Jennifer. Can we unmute her? Yeah, she was fine. She was fine. She was talking to somebody else. And I can't unmute her. Yeah, I can't unmute her. Wow, Punky. Yeah, we have to be careful with the mute button. We have to be real careful. Well, thank you there, Shipwreck. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, there she is. Yeah. There you go. There, and she's back. Yeah, it was a misunderstanding. It was a It was a misunderstanding. How much do exorcists get paid? Absolutely nothing. I've never charged in over 20 years and never will. I would love to bring you on. I thank you very much for that. I would love to bring you on first, Marty, Steven, I think. But the problem is I can't because I'm running the show on 3 different computers and the folks won't be able to hear or see you. So I'm not able, I can't bring you on, but you can ask a question and I'll be happy to try to do the best I can to answer. We're in the church. Rome acknowledges our ordinations because we have apostolic succession. So you can go to usocc.org. And actually, there's an article called Dominus Jesus that was written by St. Pope John Paul and Pope Benedict that says any church that has apostolic succession is considered validly Catholic. I'm also a member of the Order of OCR, of Corporate Reunion, and you can Google that as well. And so what they do is they evaluate your apostolic succession and validate the ordination. Because there's a lot of people who are getting ordained and things of this nature, and they have no apostolic succession, and so therefore that's a problem. So the apostolic succession is Peter laid hands upon this disciple, this upon this disciple, and so on and so on. I studied for the Roman Catholic priesthood for 6 years. I received my minor orders there in graduate school. Studied with the Benedictines and Jesuits, and so there's my little history there. Yes, Judy, has an atheist ever turned to Christ? Absolutely, he did. As a matter of fact, do babies go back to God when they pass? Absolutely, they go back to God. No, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Stay away from tarot cards. Yeah, I think there's a rise in evil because we keep pushing God out of everything. We everything. I mean, and now we can't. Now people don't even want to say heaven. Now people are saying a higher level of plane, a higher dimension. Heaven. That's what it is. So stop. Well, why can't we say heaven? Because if you say heaven, that means you have to say God. Ah, but see, you can say higher dimension, higher plane, higher existence, and but you're not. So we're basically removing God from the conversation. No, I'm not God. I'm not removing God from the conversation. It's heaven, not a higher dimension, not a this dimension. It's heaven is what it was. So stop with the nonsense. I have a lot of friends that they're all walks of life, and that's fine. But I think sometimes the new age conversation gets a little problematic. So I'm not a fan of it. I'm just not. No, I believe in heaven. I don't believe in a higher level of plane or dimension. No, it's just, why are we so afraid to say God? Why are we so afraid to say heaven? Why are we so afraid to do that? And the culture and the society, I don't know. This culture, this society, for whatever reason, just doesn't want to. Either we're pushing God out of everything, and I don't get it. See here, Jesse Lee. Here's the problem. We talked the past life regression. Here's the okay. First, Marty, you have to ask again because it goes by so fast. It's hard to see it. A lot of people are asking questions. I have 3 computers, and people are asking questions everywhere. My name is not Father Jimmy. I'm Bishop Long. That was rather rude, by the way. You don't ever refer to a bishop as Father Jimmy. Well, I don't think. I don't think purgatory is something to be scared of at all. You can go to usocc.org, and you're more than welcome to check out there. And we have apostolic succession. I have a 121-page document shows my apostolic succession to Peter. I have a doctorate in ministry and 3 master degrees. That's fine. You don't have to. usocc.org. That's the website. Well, no. I think the Bible says a lot about heaven and hell. I don't understand. And by the way, some do Trinitine, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with Trinitine, right? Yes, they can. A bishop is an overseer of a jurisdiction, and of course, they have apostolic succession in which they pass on to the priest, and then the priest receive their apostolic succession and their faculties to perform the sacraments. Okay, first, my buddy, listen. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm looking at it. But there's a lot of people asking questions, so you just got to keep asking. I'm completely ignoring everybody over here, so I'm doing the best I can. So what's the question? You got to kind of give me a break here. I'm trying to do the best I can, but it goes by fast. So. Okay, John, why? Well, it's not unlawful. Just stop. See, that's the thing, John. There really is no need to be hateful. There's no need to be judgmental. I'm not judgmental to you. I welcome you. I find it so sad that you have to come to someone's page and be so disrespectful. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know. I just don't get it. I'm in communion with God. That's fine. Okay, I can't sit here and look at the screen all day. Okay. Well, Oh, okay, no problem, Emma. Let me just help you out. Bye-bye. Anybody else? I'd be more than happy to block people. I certainly will. We'll do that. But we just have to. You don't know my story, John. That's the thing. And God has called me to this path. So when you question my calling, you're questioning God. And that's quite dangerous to do. So this wasn't something that I just chose to do on a Friday night. This is something that I prayed about for quite some time. So John, you have to understand my whole life. I've always known I wanted to be a priest when I was 5, and my whole life was planned out. I was going to be a Roman Catholic priest. I was going to have a parish. Everything was good. I went and studied with the Benedictines, studied with the Jesuits. I had it all planned out. Received my minor orders. Life was great. And then through prayer, God kept saying, "Hey, James, I want you to look over here." And then my spiritual director says, "We need to talk about the possibility of this church over here." So through prayer and spiritual direction and advisement, I accepted God's call to serve where I am right here. And I'm at peace with that. You may not be, but I am, because this is my journey, not yours. And Jesus made it very clear that we have no business to judge anyone. And I'm here for a reason. And I think we have to be very careful about judging people and saying, well, you don't belong to the club, so therefore you don't get into the membership. Because I think a lot of people are going to be in heaven that you might be surprised about. So I think we got to reduce the drama and the judgment and the this mentality of elitism. Spiritual elitism is a cancer in society. So, yeah, it is. Well, sometimes you have to address things. What do you have to do to get in heaven? Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and body, and love your neighbor as yourself. USOCC.org. Feel free to check it out. Well, thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, hey, well, user, I mean, that's fine. That's fine. You can block you. A user, you're wearing a Knights, you're wearing a Knights Templar outfit, dude. Okay. Seriously. I think somebody has a little bit of a cosplay going on there. Got some cosplay going. I agree, John. I agree. And that's the thing. We have to be, we all have, we have to be careful. We have to be careful about judging people. So that means Baptists aren't going to heaven. Episcopalians aren't going to heaven. Agnostics are not going to heaven. We got to be real careful when we start making comments like that, or saying, well, that person is not on the right path. Well, who are you to decide who's on the right path or not? That's up to God. God decides that, not us. And when we start going around and judging people and say, well, your spirituality is not as good as mine, or your spirituality is not as justified or morally right as mine, that's when we are actually making a judgment on that person. And that's where we cross the line. That's where we get into danger. And that's what I won't do. I won't do. You're Methodist and the Methodists. That's right. You Methodist folks out there. Roland Doe, solid documentary. It was terrifying. Yep. I actually went to the house and Exorcism Live on the Travel Channel in 2015. That was a crazy, crazy case. I'll do a presentation again on Roland Doe and Emily Rose. Yeah, Emily Rose. And keep in mind, John, also, we don't get paid. We don't get paid as clergy. Now, if I had gone and continued in the Roman Catholic Church, the salary is roughly about $45,000 to $50,000 a year. Everything is paid for. Everything is paid for. Housing, food, car insurance, health insurance, all of that is paid for. Plus, you get $45,000, $50,000 salary. We get zero. We are not paid one penny. Not a dime. I really don't know that much about Scientology. I mean, I've studied up a little bit about it, but I really, I have not been to Sally House, but my paranormal team has. Yeah. I just don't know a whole lot about. I know a lot of what people say about it, but really, I've never spoke to a Scientologist before, and so until I actually speak to one and get their opinion on it, and try to figure out, their idea, then that I always respect people, and so before I make a judgment call on someone's faith and say, I don't know about that one, maybe you shouldn't, I'm not. You don't judge the person. But I mean, if they're worshiping Satan, that's a problem. I mean, that's a problem. But Scientology, I just don't know much about it. I wish I could, some people are gifted and some people are not, Nidge. Some people are gifted, some people are not. Tomorrow, I want to remind everybody, I'm going to be here tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for those people who said, you never talk about God, you never talk about heaven, well, then obviously you never attend my Bible study. Because we have Bible study every Sunday and every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're right here on all the formats. We also have it on, we have night prayer Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not a big fan of it, Sharon. Here's the deal. I'm not a medium. I'm not. But I know people who say that they are. And here's what I'm going to say about this, Nidge. And here's what I would say to all of you about this. And I've said this before. I was a police department for a chaplain for a large police department. And the department asked me to go down there with them because there was some medium that apparently told them where they could find a body that they had been found, or somebody they'd been looking for, a missing person. But the psychic said the person is dead. And so they asked me to go down there and to kind of keep the family away from the area. And I've said this before, so they won't obviously trample in the area. So I was with the family, and the psychic, this medium told the police where they could find the remains. Folks, here's the deal. I was there. I was on the scene. I saw it. And the police found the body within 5 feet of where the medium told them where they could find it. Now, I can't explain it. I can't explain that. I tried. I mean, I tried to use all the logic I can find. Then people say, well, it's the demon. It's the demon. Demons don't give you peace of mind. Demons take your peace of mind. Because the family was able to finally bring their loved one and to a proper burial, and that gave them closure. That gave them peace of mind, knowing that now they know what happened, and they were against mediums. By the way, that family was 100% against mediums. They were hardcore Bible Belt, because I'm in Kentucky. This is the Bible Belt, so they were hardcore against mediums. Now that person, you explain that. I can't. So I know what I saw, but I can't explain it. So take that, with whatever you think. But and well, see, Jason, I agree. If it's not done through the Lord, it's not good. I agree, but I think that after talking to the family, and because I still speak to the family, they absolutely were 100% against mediums. They were very against it. But they thought, you know what? We're going to go down there. We're going to find out. We're going to see if it's true. And they have changed their minds. Thank you very much, Claire. They've changed their minds. So they think that there are some people that are just naturally gifted that way. Okay. So you're welcome, Nitch. So that's the answer. I can't explain it, but I can tell you what I saw. And then you can make whatever decision you want to make based on that. If you think it was evil, well, that's your decision to make. I'm not going to change your mind. If you think they have, if they have a gift, that's fine. You can think that too. But none of, that's the story. So I've never seen what I would define as an angel. No. I've heard my name called, sure, lots of times. Yeah, when I was alone quite a bit, yeah. So anyway, I believe there are some people that are gifted, and we can't explain that. I don't think everything's so black and white. I think there's a lot of gray. How do you reach a child that is not believing in God? I would ask them why. I would kind of I would try to understand their thought process, and just ask them. What is it about God that you think, it just doesn't make sense to me? I would just have a conversation with them, and that's how. The one thing you never want to do is preach at someone and try to shove the faith down someone's throat. That's the worst thing you can do. If someone says, "I don't believe in God," the best thing you can do is show some compassion and try to understand their perspective without judgment, without condemnation. Because if you judge and condemn, they're going to put their defenses up, and then you don't get anywhere. And that doesn't do anything good. So for me, I think when someone tells me that they don't believe in God, I'm curious. I'm like, well, tell me about that. What's your journey of life? And they're more willing to open up about that rather than, well, you're going to burn in the fiery pits of hell if you don't. Then you've lost them, and rightfully so. You've rightfully so. Okay, Nitch, let me tell you something. Okay, let me tell you something, Nitch. You're going to do a few to see if you get any message from loved ones. Okay, I'm not trying to pick a fight with anybody. But you need to listen to me very carefully, and then I'm going to close shop here. Nitch, let me ask you this question on Facebook. And I think I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, my apologies. But did your family members, your loved ones, did they accept Jesus Christ, their personal Lord and Savior? Not all the time, Mikey. I don't agree with papal infallibility. No man's infallible except for Christ. Nope. Okay. Now I'm fully aware of the three doctrines of infallibility statement. I'm fully aware of that, which I concur. But there was a history behind that infallibility issue, especially with the church in Utrecht, where they were given complete autonomy by Pope Leo XIII. And so there's some history there with that infallibility issue. Oh yeah, just send me a message on TikTok. All right, Nidge, listen to me. Then don't seek. You don't need to seek mediums. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to pick on a fight with anybody. Your loved ones accept Jesus Christ, their personal Lord and Savior. Then you need to be at peace, knowing that they are at peace. They've never left you. Perhaps maybe no one's ever taught you that. But your loved ones have never left you. Now, physically, their bodies are gone. But spiritually, they are very much alive. And spiritually, I firmly believe, because heaven exists outside of time and space, I'm a firm believer that our loved ones can be in heaven and be here at the same time, because they're not restricted to time or space anymore, because they're in spirit form. So your loved ones have never left you. They've never left you. You don't need to go to a medium for them to tell you they're okay. They're at peace. They're okay. You need to be okay. And one day, you're going to be united with them. And so just I would just be at peace with that. Well, I think that would be a very proper thing to do. Have you seen your grandma? Wow. I don't think you need a medium to tell you anything. Niche, I don't think you need a medium to tell you anything at all about your loved ones. Your loved ones are at peace. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. You don't need anything else. What else do you need to know? The lottery numbers? The lottery numbers? Well, why hasn't a psychic told us the lottery numbers yet? Again, I believe there are people who are gifted. And I'm not, I didn't say they weren't, but you don't need to know anything else. What you need to know is that they're at peace. They're with God. And one day you're going to see them again. That's the message that you need to know. You don't need it. There's no more suffering. There's no more stress. There's no more anxiety. There's no more anger. If they held on to anger, if they held on to resentment, if they had some tension with you, that's gone. That's all that stuff is gone. That is released. That's purged. When you're in spirit form, all that is purged. Well, let's assume that you're making a judgment call on who goes to heaven and hell, and I don't just subscribe to that, because the only being that can subscribe to who goes to heaven or hell that's God. So nope. I don't need to make communication with the loved one. I don't need to. I don't need to. What do they need to tell me? That they're okay? I already know they are okay through faith. I already know. See, because here's the deal: when you start trying to communicate with your loved ones and using devices to do so, that's when the demonic can easily trip you. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't need to know anything. My faith tells me that my loved ones are at peace. My faith tells me that my loved ones are no longer suffering, that they're no longer struggling, that they're no longer sick, that they're no longer holding on to it if they had animosity or that's gone. They are in pure joy. That is what they're experiencing right now. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. That's all I need to know. And that one day, God willing, I'm going to be there with them, experiencing that same joy. Because my faith, I am convicted in my faith that the joy they are experiencing is a joy that your dreams can't even, you can't even, our brains are not even able to grasp the concept of that type of happiness. It's impossible. All that stuff is purged. So there is nothing you need to worry about. Nothing. So if you have, because I know here's what a lot of people do. A lot of people want to try to make contact with the loved ones because perhaps maybe they did something wrong, and they just want to make sure that their loved ones forgive them. And I know a lot of you right now probably listening, that's probably resonating with you right now, that you want to have that one more moment with them, one more moment to be able to say, I'm sorry. They've already forgiven you. They've already let go of all that. All that is gone. Any frustrations you had in life, I wish I could just have one more moment with them so I could say, I'm sorry. It's not necessary. The forgiveness is already given. Because they're in the presence of God. When you're in the presence of God, God has unconditional forgiveness. Conditional forgiveness is a human nature factor, not a pure spirit factor. Pure spirit exists in joy and happiness and peace. Human factor, with the brain, with the thoughts, with emotions, we have conditional forgiveness. I'll forgive you if you do this. I'll forgive you only if you do that. But when you're in spirit form, that's gone. That doesn't exist anymore. So for those of you who need to say, I'm sorry one more time, and you just need to know that your loved ones forgive you, they've forgiven you. That's done. Now you've got to start forgiving yourself. Let it go. Let that weight go. That's going to burden you. It's going to burden you like cancer. It's going to eat you up. You got to let it go. It's gone. Your loved ones are not holding that against you. Your loved ones are not holding a grudge. Holding a grudge, you can't hold a grudge when you're in the presence of God. Do you understand that? It doesn't exist. You can't hold a grudge. It's impossible. So, the New Revised Standard Version, Catholic edition. I understand, Brenda. I understand. Okay. They're fine. They're fine, Punky. They're fine. No, it's the New Revised Standard Version, Catholic edition. Well, I don't know because I'm not with the Roman Catholic Church, so we've never had that situation. Best Hulk ever. I don't know. We've had 0 cases in the United States Old Catholic Church, in the Old Catholic Church, period. So I'm not really that really has nothing to do with me. So I don't know. Okay. For those of you who are on Spreaker, I'm going to say goodnight to you. Hopefully, look, I appreciate that. I wish I knew. I'm sorry that I couldn't get the answer, all of you, because sometimes the questions go so fast. You know what I mean? So it's not because I was ignoring you. It's just it's hard to answer all. I'm only one person, So I do the best I can. I promise. I promise. Okay, tomorrow, usocc.org is the website. Tomorrow, I'm going to be here, and we're going to have a Bible study. So hopefully, we actually I had mass. And we also had night prayer. Good question there, Michelle. Yesterday was the feast of Michael and Raphael, the archangels, and Gabriel, and we had night prayer at 10 p.m. It was our Compline. That's what we did. I have mass every day. Every day, the Eucharist is very important to me. That's the most important thing to me. Okay. Folks, I'm going to have to run because it's already 10:30 in my time, Eastern Standard Time, and I have to get up at 4 a.m. tomorrow. So here's the deal. I'm going to be here tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be teaching Bible study. Also, Miss Wilma will be here, and Miss Wilma will be teaching our kids Bible study. So if you have kids, she's been teaching over 20 years. She teaches the kids' perspective. And then I'm going to be talking about Revelations a little bit, just because I taught Revelation for 6 months, but just a little bit. And then I'll answer all your questions. Well, I love Father Jim. He's great. Yeah, Jim is wonderful. And actually, I was taught by Bishop Bob Barron. We call him Bishop Robert Barron. So I know I have read the book though. But Bishop Robert Barron was in the graduate school where I went. And Bishop Robert. I'm sorry, I'm so used to calling Bob. Bishop Robert, or Bishop Barron, brilliant theologian. Brilliant theologian. He's one of the most. I would not be surprised if he was a cardinal one day. Matter of fact, I would be surprised if he wasn't made a cardinal, because his intelligence is off the charts. It was an honor to be taught by Bishop Barron. He's a phenomenal philosopher, man, and he knows his Thomas Aquinas. Man, Thomas Aquinas, the Summa Theologica is not an easy read. So Summa Theologica, it's tough, but he could just spit it out. I mean, it's like a robot. It was amazing. Bishop Robert Barron, one of I think the greatest theologians right now in the 21st century, and that's my opinion. That's coming from a student of his. So I have a high respect for him, and of course Father Martin. Please answer my question. It is very important to me. My dad came back to see me 10 years after gone. Well, that's okay. I've known a lot of people who've experienced that too, and perhaps maybe they couldn't come back to you immediately. And um, time and space doesn't exist after death. So although 10 years for you, it could have been a blink of an eye for him. So just keep that in mind. You have to remember that time and space does not exist in death. Time and space is a created thing by man. We live in time and space. We're restricted in time and space because we have mortal bodies here. I'm Kentucky. So that's the issue. You have to remember that. So it may be 10 years for you, but it may be a blink of an eye for him. So. Oh, I disagree. I disagree 100% with that, Schmoopy. No, nope, 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 nope. I respect your opinion, but we know Bishop Barron pretty well, the seminarians, and I don't know if that's necessarily a right opinion. It's your opinion, and you're entitled, but that's not the Bishop Barron that I know. So. But that's okay. That's your perception, but that's not my perception. Not at all. Just the opposite. Just the opposite. Okay, everybody, I got to go. I have to go. So remember, I always tell you that your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. You are priceless, and never let anybody tell you or convince you otherwise. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. God bless. I'll see you guys tomorrow night.